Welcome to another episode of the $40 Cricket Podcast with Jim and Akim. Today we'll be discussing New Zealand's unfortunate game against Pakistan. Imagine making 401 for six inside 50 overs and only having the chasing team score 200 and losing the game on Duckworth Lewis. What was your take on that dramatic encounter?
I think New Zealand were a bit unfortunate with how things turned out. They got to a mammoth score of 401 for six. That will win you 99 out of 100 games in a 50 over game. Uh, I think Pakistan bowled badly to them, but it was also brilliant batting from New Zealand and Ravindra and Kane Williamson, especially. Kane, who said would be a key player in the game. That being said, Fakhar Zaman really took the attack to New Zealand when Pakistan came out to bat. He played a very good knock. He was aggressive and he was in control, and that allowed Babar Azam to drop anchor at the other end. New Zealand probably paid for a bit of bad planning in my estimation. I feel Ish Sodhi should have played in this tournament before, and he was forced to come into this game in a high pressure scenario. And then he was even given the ball in a scenario that was probably not necessary for him to bowl. And that caused even more pressure, and he crumbled. And it probably cost New Zealand this game and could possibly cost them a semi-final spot.
You want to dig deeper into New Zealand's batting innings?
Well, they started off pretty well. The opening partnership was 68 runs. Conway got 35 and Ravindra supported him in that phase of the partnership. I think they were both very good. They took the charge to Hassan Ali and Shaheen Shah Afridi inside the power play. Iftikhar Ahmed also came on and bowled, and Ravindra especially played some very good shots off him, some late cuts and some square cuts. Really opened up the offside, and it seemed as if the New Zealand intent from the goal was a positive one. Uh, After Conway fell, Kane Williamson came in and he played a very aggressive Kane Williamson innings, I would say. Generally, we look for him to play innings that are closer to a strike rate of about a run a ball, 100. But he was a lot more positive and he used his feet very well to the spinners especially. He played a very good square cut to start his innings, and he looked like a man that was not missing most of the tournament and was healthy for all of it. He looked in fine form, and he really helped them to set up a very good platform. They got good cameos towards the end from Daryl Mitchell. Chapman came in and played a good knock. he struck the ball very well. And Glenn Phillips and Santner also provided some power towards the end. And they got a score of 401 that I really felt they would have been comfortable with. Shaheen Shah Afridi bowled 10 overs for 90 as the leader of the attack. He was very expensive. And all the Pakistani bowlers on the day seemed to go except Iftikhar Ahmed.
As you mentioned, Pakistan, the seam bowlers were pretty shocking on the day. Shaheen going at 9, and they brought Hassan Ali back into the team to open the bowling, and he struggled as well. There are too much experiment with Iftikhar. They gave up on it. Iftikhar opened the bowling in the past 2 games. He was their first change bowler today, and he bowled well. He struggled opening the bowling in the previous game, so to see him come back and bowl at 6 and over was pretty good for them. How do you think the Pakistani bowled? They thought they bowled too wide again?
Yes, I think there was a lot of width on offer. Also, a number of short balls were bowled, but I think the width more than anything. And when I say they bowl wide, I don't think that some of the deliveries were necessarily the widest, but they were just off the stump. I feel like the margin for error was a lot smaller on this pitch, on this surface. And almost anytime they came off the stumps, they were scored, and for the most part, it was boundaries. So that is something that they really have to look at. If we look at the tournament, South Africa has been one of the teams that has bowled the best, I think, and they've been very disciplined in terms of bowling on the stump. If anything, they prefer to be more middle stump, mid and leg than just outside off stump.
I would challenge you with that point. I think India has been the best bowling team.
Yeah.
Your three seamers have been hitting the wickets very often and hitting the pads very often. They have the most wickets so far, LBW and bowl combined, of all the teams. They just put the ball down on the half stump and have it shifting both ways. So South Africa has been pretty good. It's close, but India, the Indian seamers have been next level. And they just, I think they tipped the South Africans out in the death bowling.
Yeah.
So the South Africans are good at the start and in the middle, but then the death bowling is a bit suspect. Pakistan's effort was pretty brilliant. They are normally a team that preserve their wicket and push through to the end. But this time they combined the two. They preserved their wickets and scored at a strike rate of about 10. Yeah, they were going at about 8 and over and got to 200 for one after 25 overs. Your thoughts on their innings? Your thoughts on Fakhar Zaman's resurgence and his impetus that he is injected into the Pakistan innings? They look like a total different batting lineup now that he is playing and scoring. They don't look sluggish again.
I think Fakhar Zaman is a very important player for them. As we had said, we felt like he didn't get a long enough run at the start of the tournament, but they say probably all is well that ends well. He came back into the team at the right time, and he's been firing. What he does is that he gives the likes of Babar Azam and Rizwan in the middle order time to play their way and to play their game. He is somebody that is very unorthodox. If you look at some of the shots that he played in that game, he was hitting the fast bowlers from 6 stump outside off stump through mid wicket and through square leg. His mode of operation is just to strike the ball very hard. And because he's so unorthodox, sometimes he can be very difficult to bowl to. He really put the New Zealand bowlers under pressure, and he got 163 balls. That's a whirlwind 100, and that really set them up. I think Babar Azam also played a very good knock. He was faster than a runner ball, and he provided a sense of calm there, because I'm sure that they were probably at the stadium and they knew that they would not have batted their full 50 overs. They knew that rain would be in the forecast and a possibility. And with how Duckworth Lewis operates, they know that having wickets in hand is important. So Babar Azam also batted well. And then what is important to note is that when the first rain break came, they were at 160 runs. And after that rain break, they had a discussion, and I'm sure that they probably worked out and saw the calculations inside the dressing room. And when they came back after that break, New Zealand, I think, blundered as well, because I wouldn't bowl Ish Sodhi to Fakhar Zaman in that mode. I would not bowl him, seeing how he strikes the ball and how strong he is to long on and mid wicket. But they brought him on there. I don't know what the thinking was. And they really took Ish Sodhi to the cleaners. Ish Sodhi bowled.
He bowled over for 20.
Yeah, he bowled an over for 20, ended up bowling 4 overs for 44. It was a very difficult situation because of the situation of the game in terms of the runs demanded and a wet ball. Rainy circumstances, wet ball, and to Fakhar Zaman. So I think Pakistan played the situation well. They knew it wouldn't have been a 50 over game, and they capitalized from that.
I think Fakhar is a very interesting kind of batsman. Most batsmen will tell you that they have to bat and get set and then feel it's a it's a flow and rhythm kind of thing for them to go through the gears. Fakar says, I bat three to four overs, and after that, no matter what's the state of the game, I am going. And the same balls that he was just defending, he'll hit them over mid wicket for six. And the way he hits the sixes over mid wicket after the seamers, it reminds me of Colin Monroe. Except when Fakar does it, it's going 30 rows back. When Colin does it, it go over the infield, over the because of the power play, and goes for four or goes for a small six. But when Fakar does it, the field, if there's a field on the boundary, there is no chance. He jumped Trent Bolt. Tim Southey got away. And then because he was so aggressive against Trent Bolt, they had to bring in Mitchell Santner to bowl to him. And that's a tough matchup for Mitchell. A left-handed Fakar is a man. Mitchell Santner and that wicket wouldn't have been spinning the ball very much. So it's basically a free swing to long on and mid wicket. Glenn Phillips bowled, he went as well.
Yeah, he gave him no chance.
And New Zealand, as you said, were pretty dumbfounded. They were shocked. Darren Mitchell ended up having to bowl a couple balls towards the end of the second rain break. And that was it. Pakistan had won the game by then. I also think this is the second game that New Zealand panicked. Here they panicked during the game in the field. And in the game against South Africa, they panicked at the start of the game. They blundered from before the game even started with that toss. So they have two questionable sets of decisions to think about going forward. They should be still in the top four. It's just they're jostling with Australia to say who will come forth and face the mighty Indians again. How do you think the New Zealanders bowl?
It's difficult to say. I think when you look at where they bowled and some of the deliveries that Fakhar Zaman scored, he was taking balls from outside off stump, just on the stump, the shorter deliveries. I think a delivery that they could have tried that they probably didn't try to execute enough was the full Yorker. I think they could have gone for a Yorker. That is my thinking.
You know as a bowler, the ball is being spanked like that. You will think about that Yorker and think about the probability that it's going to miss the length. If that misses, it's six. It's a full toss, a half volley.
I mean, at that stage, everything
with a new ball, it's tough.
Anyways, yeah, it's a tough ball to execute with the newer delivery. But I think Fakhar Zaman jumped them, but I think something that they could have done is probably taking some more time out of the game. They could have slowed things down the way it was going. We know that they're strict in international cricket with over rates and getting through overs and that sort of thing. But the way he was striking the ball, it was clear that if 20 overs got into the game, Pakistan would have won. They were going at great guns. I don't know if it was a case of a bit of complacency where they thought that the 400 runs wouldn't have been chased no matter what, and it would have been safe. But Pakistan came with clear intent to go at these runs, and they really did that. Trent Bolt as the leader, they attack 6 overs for 50 runs. Tim Southey probably was the most economical, and he got a wicket as well.
So stick a point there. Tim Southey went at 5, everybody else got over 8.
Yeah.
What was the difference?
What do you think? He was probably moving the ball around a bit more. He seemed to take the pace off with a couple deliveries.
I think it was probably the change of pace, but Trent Bolt would have tried that as well. The only issue is that Trent Bolt's slower delivery from his left would have been in the hitting arc. I knew they don't really grip. It was going to be a nice, slow, straight half spinner. They can just hit mid-on would have been in the circle.
Yeah.
So difficult.
I think New Zealand also paid from some of the bowlers being undercooked because, as we said, this is Southie's second game in the tournament, and then Ish Sodhi came in for his first. I think it
And
was way too.
Mitchell first game bowling.
Yeah, it's way too late in the tournament for you to be giving somebody the first opportunity, especially in a game like this that was basically a must win. Yeah, he's an international cricketer and an international performer. He has performances in international cricket. He's a world-class bowler, but it's still a World Cup and it's still a high pressure scenario. And then he basically got the worst circumstance to bowl in, I feel. So I feel for him as a spin bowler. I really feel for him.
Um, do you think these? All right, they have the injury issues. One. Do you think the fact that they don't have a set captain is causing decision making problems?
Um,
Later, so when Kane plays, he's a captain, and otherwise it's Tom Latham.
it's tough to say because Kane is there with the group, and I'm
He's
sure
not on
he
the
will
field.
be he will be giving them advice, but it's not on the field advice. He played in the game today, and I was actually surprised that he bowled Sodi in that situation. Uh in the games previously, Latham has made some decisions that have been a bit questionable, but today it was Kane. In this game, it was Kane's show, and I was a bit surprised at some of the decisions, really.
Yeah, I think they have a issue with. I would think the in and out of the leadership and stuff like that would cause problem. Mind you, it's a tough team to captain when you've lost your bowling team, and who is on the park isn't as fit, and who is fit enough to play is undercooked. So it's a bad time for them to be fading out. They
Yeah.
started the tournament very, very, very strongly. They announced themselves against England, and now they are short of players, and at this moment probably short of confidence. Our confidence might be waning. You have anything else to add?
No, that's all from me.
All right, that's the end of today's episode, guys. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching, guys.